house always wins. Play long enough, you never change the stakes. The house takes you. Unless, when that perfect hand comes along, you bet big, and then you take the house. Been practicing this a little bit. Did I rush it? Felt like I rushed.
That was good. I liked it.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Big Easy Bets podcast. I'm your host, Logan, and with me in the studio, Nick Von Brick.
What's up?
With us on the ones and twos, Joseph Ascani.
Happy Halloween.
This is college football week 10, NFL week 9, and it is indeed Halloween. Spooky season is here. Nobody's dressed up. I'm Dirk Nowitzki.
What?
What are you? Yeah. What does it look like?
I'm a self-employed American.
Okay.
I'm a piece of
Gay.
shit.
I'm a piece of shit sports betting piece of shit.
Degenerate.
Yeah. We'll get to the recap shortly. It's been a weird year in college football. Anytime you hear anybody saying that, you can pretty much deduct that it hasn't gone as well as we would have liked. Joseph obviously is still leading the way. But we're on to week 10, on to bigger and better things. I have a huge card this week. I am sending shots. I had a profitable week last week. The two bets I felt best about, one being my lock. Easy home run hits, but we will get to all of that. Saints score 38 in a win. Beat the Colts, a scrappy Colts team, obviously with a backup quarterback, but decent enough defense. 38 points is 38, and another win for the Saints.
Yeah.
NFC South sucks. It's kind of exactly what we talked about, that this was going to be the division's bad enough and we're okay enough that we'll be right in the mix of pretty much
Playoffs.
Yeah, but also mediocrity. So, what are your thoughts?
I guess we're playing a little better.
Yeah, I mean, Kamara looked good. I don't know. We'll
Carr's
see.
not crying as much. So.
Yeah.
Well, thank God, because it was 2 weeks ago that he was. So
Yeah,
can't
2
do it
weeks
every
in a
week.
row. He's fucking. If I was on a team, I'd grab Carr by safe man. I said, "You fucking, you suck.
Shut up, you idiot."
Quit blaming everybody else."
Yep, but a win is a win. My one NFL future bet was the Jaguars to win their division. They've come alive big time.
Yep.
Playing their best football at the right time. So hit subscribe. If you're on YouTube, hit subscribe. We appreciate it. Anybody who hasn't, anybody who already has, we appreciate you. We don't appreciate the ones who haven't, but it takes 2 seconds. Just do it. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, just do it. We're about to get them this week. I've said it before, and we didn't get them, but now I mean it. So we are indeed about to get them. Tyson Fury and Francis Ngannou fought over the weekend, and I was, we pretty much both said we were very surprised with the performance from Francis Ngannou.
Yeah.
Do you think that he could compete with, like, okay, how serious do you think Tyson Fury was taking that?
I don't know.
Like, if they rematch, go through another, whatever, 8-week camp, whatever they go through. You're doing that thing with your feet again. Do you think Tyson Fury just comes out and dominates him?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it was an interesting fight. I'm not one of those people that think Ngannou was robbed.
I don't think it was a robbery, but I think I wouldn't have been shocked if it went either way.
Yeah.
I personally had Ngannou winning. I mean, he got the knockdown. It was clear that Tyson Fury started out boxing him big time for the next 3 or so rounds, but there was a moment where it looked like he was gassed bad.
Yeah.
And I was kind of surprised. I thought Ngannou was going to get gassed, but he definitely slowed down, but Tyson Fury's mouth was open. Like, he was it looked like, okay, his cardio's hurting right now. And Ngannou started kind of teeing off on him a little bit, and it was either the 10th or the 11th round. So, and the live betting odds had it, which I understand that doesn't mean anything. The judges are making the decisions, but the live betting odds felt like Ngannou was the favorite going into that 12th round, and Tyson Fury probably won the round, but it wasn't decisive.
Yeah, I didn't think. I don't know. I would have said maybe you could give maybe the second round to Ngannou, and then obviously the third round, which he scored the knockdown. But then after that, it's like I don't know how many rounds he won other than the 8th round he clearly won.
Yeah, I think I probably had him. I'd have to rewatch it to be for sure, but obviously round 1 was Fury. Round 2, I thought was Ngannou. Round 3 was definitely Ngannou in a 10-8 with the knockdown. And then it was probably 3 rounds. So 4, 5, 6 was Fury. I don't remember 7 specifically, but it wasn't like Fury dominated to the point that I was like, okay, he's taking control back.
Yeah.
Even like you have to overcome a 10-8 with a knockdown. And I didn't feel like when they went to the final bell and they were going to the judges, it was like, no matter what, Francis Ngannou comes out the winner of this. If he loses the decision, oh well, you knocked down the lineal heavyweight champion of the world. Wasn't expecting it. And it was one of those, like, before I was like, here we go again. Like, obviously I would never buy it, or somebody was streaming it, but it's like, here we go watching the same bullshit where it's going to be a one-sided thing where it was clear that he's outclassed because boxers are elite at boxing. It got to the point to where I felt like my heart rate was elevated. I was like, this could he could do it. Like if he would have clipped him one more time, which it was possible. There was a couple where he just missed him, where it was like Fury's playing with fire a little bit, getting up there close, and he's throwing a left hook and it's just barely missing. It's like if he gets caught again, he could beat him. It's like, what if he would have beat him? What if they gave him the decision?
Yeah.
Then what? You got to rematch it, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think they could fight again, but it'll be interesting to see if Ngannou tries to fight anyone else.
I'd rather see him do that. I'd rather see him go ahead and take on, I mean, whoever. I don't know. Because he was taking some shots too, and that's what somebody said. Like, if that's Deontay Wilder, might be a different story. Like, he might put him to sleep because he's got a fucking nuclear bomb in his fucking right hand.
But his defense did look pretty good for the most part, I thought.
Yeah, he didn't look like a fish out of water.
He was sound fundamentally, yeah.
I felt like his footwork wasn't bad. I felt like he controlled distance fairly well. I was impressed. So, Joseph, did you watch it?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I don't know. I felt like no matter what, Ngannou came away from that the winner, and he'll definitely get a bag for his fight if he wants to fight. And if he wants to box again, he'll get a fight. I think they said they're going to rank him in the top 10 of heavyweights.
Yeah, I saw something like that.
WBC said that, I think. Which means he would be eligible next time if they fight again. It will be for the belt.
Well, it's like, who's he going to fight in MMA?
Yeah, no, I know.
So
With John
like,
Jones being
right.
hurt, there's no reason for him to come back. I saw the funniest video that I've seen in I don't even know how long. It was that video of Gavin Newsom. Did you see it?
No.
Did you? Dude, let me pull it up. The funniest thing. I'll set the table. You can tell. I mean, Gavin Newsom's probably going to run for president. So I'm assuming he's going on like a whatever tour. Well, he was for some reason at a basketball court. And you can tell Gavin Newsom like probably played basketball back in the day. You can tell by him like the dribble he takes right away. But he's an old politician who's not practicing. And so anytime it's like your brain's still like, yeah, I can do this. And then your body just doesn't let you. But he's like spinning the ball on his finger. And then he just fucking waylays this little Chinese boy who played great defense, was in position. Watch, let me see. It's so fucking funny. Watch. Spins it on his finger, behind the back real quick, in the dress shoes, foot slips, bam, crumples that boy's knee like an accordion. And then he's pissed at him. He's mad at that kid like it's that kid's fault. He rolls him over, smacks him on his ass a couple times. But he's in the video, he's like, yeah, I got you. But really, he's like, you son of a bitch.
Kid's femur's broken.
Oh, yeah. Just tore the kid's entire future in one snap of the knee. And the kid's like, get off of me. He's like, come here, little tyke.
He's definitely uncomfortable.
I laughed at that.
In China?
I don't know. Maybe. It was a lot of Chinese kids. So. I laughed at that for so long because if you look, his foot slips. He goes to make his move with his left foot and it slips. That poor kid's like deer in the headlights. But the kid hits the ball away. Like he's got two hands on the ball. He's about to rip him. And then so that was his moment. But what if that's like the second coming of Jeremy Lin? Just tore his shit.
Oh.
8-year-old kid just destroyed his knee. I laughed at that video for so long because that's one of those like they were like, hey, Mr. Newsom, we're gonna go do a photo shoot at the basketball court and We think it could be good. And in the back of his mind, he's like, I'm about to tear shit up. He's like, I'm about to, not the kid's knee. He's thinking on the court. He's like, I'm about to light it up. But on the outside, he's like, yeah, that could be a good idea. But he's like, I'm about to fucking put on a show out here. He's trying to spin the ball on his finger. First step, bam. Fucking took a kid out. And everybody's like, oh. So he's got to play it off. I laughed at that video for 20 minutes straight, like with tears in my eyes. All right. We will... Let's see. I got a couple other things. Actually, no, I don't. Is there anything else going on? Vikings, Kirk Cousins towards Achilles.
Yep. Yeah.
The stars are aligning for the Saints. I mean, you've got the Bears without Fields, the Vikings without Cousins, the Falcons just benched Ritter. That's our next 3 games. The stars couldn't be more aligning for the Saints to make a run. At least to make the playoffs because the division's so bad and our schedule's so weak. But all right, we will get into the recap and then we will get into our best bets for the week. I sat here. The games I went through my process of handicapping. Not that I didn't for these other 2, but I have like a routine. I'll wake up, go get coffee. That particular day, I went and got some Chick-fil-A breakfast. Sat there for a few hours, went through all the games. Those games, I went 4-3 with, and there's no excuse. The 3, no, 1 was horseshit. 2 were just bad picks. But then I had 2 late ads on Saturday, and I felt good about them at the time. But that was wrong. So we'll go through it. We started it off, or yeah, actually, no, I'm sorry. I went 4-2 on those games. I added 3 plays. We went 0-3 on the ads. So of me sitting down, going through the games of what I liked and going through everything, 4-2. But Liberty, Western Kentucky under 61.5. This is one of those ones where you just start to question everything because it's under 61.5. There was like 31 points scored through 3 quarters. They scored 40 points in the 4th quarter. They scored 21 points on like 5 play stretch. Busted coverage, nobody within 30 yards of people. Just back. I mean, there was like, I think it was 14 points on 2 plays. So, like, you've got to be kidding me. You're watching a car crash in slow motion and you just know what's coming and you're hoping maybe. No, they soared over. They scored 40 fucking points in the 4th quarter. Then we have Virginia Tech first half minus a half point. Home run hit on this one. This went exactly how I was hoping it would. Virginia Tech's defensive line dominated Syracuse. They had 8 sacks in the game. Kyron Jones played well enough. They were running the ball all over him, but the main thing was Syracuse just doesn't have weapons on the offensive side of the football. They just don't. Schrader's not good enough to do it on his own. Nobody really is. Virginia Tech was up 30-3, 33-3, some shit in the first half. It was a blowout win for the Hokies. Under 41.5 in FAU and Charlotte. I knew right away that this was a bad pick. Clearly, the money came in on the over big time. That's the blessing and the curse of recording early. Sometimes you get a good number. There was some weather in the forecast that I was kind of banking on. It didn't show up. It cleared up. Perfect weather for football. It went from 41.5 to 46.5 before kickoff. It was dead in the water pretty quick. Charlotte didn't really do much offensively, but FAU nearly hit the number by themselves. Then we had Army minus 9.5. I don't know what's going on with the service academies because the week before I was on Navy. It took a missed 2-point conversion to push. They didn't play their starting quarterback up until the very end of the 4th quarter, and then their offense immediately woke up. Army didn't play Bryson Barnes until midway through the 2nd quarter. But defensively, they had nothing for UMass, which was kind of unexpected, but offensively, they couldn't do anything. The service academies, for some reason, have all made this pact to sit their starting quarterbacks for a bum behind them. So I don't really know why. We'll go through the remaining losers. Penn State minus 31. Horrible pick. I felt like this was, right as I placed it, I fucking knew it because I took Ohio State versus Indiana. It was the same game. Cincinnati plus 7.5. I'm done. Satterfield's an idiot. I will not bet the Bearcats for the remainder of the year. If they're in a bowl game, they won't be. But if by the grace of God they found their way in, I will bet the other side no matter what. Then we rattled off some winners. We got things going. Tennessee minus 3.5 was the one I was on the fence about. I decided to add it. Took a little luck. Not necessarily luck, but it took Tennessee answering the bell a few times, and they did. They win by 6. And then the 2 I felt best about, we'll start with Oregon minus 6.5. It was our first consensus agreement all around the table. our first true consensus, meaning nobody added anything. We all came to the table with Oregon written down. It was a fucking blowout. A lot of people were on Utah. I didn't really understand why. We've watched them many of times, but we know Oregon very well. Oregon did exactly what we thought. Ran the ball all over him, dominated him in the trenches. Utah couldn't do anything offensively. Oregon could pretty much get what they wanted. So it was an easy no-sweat winner right off the bat. And then my lock of the week, Notre Dame minus 19.5. They dropped 50 points and Sam Hartman didn't throw a touchdown. They covered this. This was more of a bet against Pitt. I knew how bad Pitt was. Pitt is that bad. Notre Dame had a punt return touchdown, fumble return touchdown, pick six. Sam Hartman sucks. Sam Hartman fucking sucks. So, but we cash another lock, second consecutive lock in college football, minus 19.5 on Notre Dame, brings me to 4-5 on the week. 29, 37, and 4 overall. 4 pushes is just driving me nuts. And then 5-5 in my locks of the week. So we're turning it around there. I'm going to try to go 3 in a row on the locks this week. You had 4 plays.
Yep, Texas minus 17.5. Texas kind of struggled to score in the red zone here, which at the end it was kind of a dicey game in terms for the cover, but then they ended up kind of pulling away at the very, very end of this game. Oregon minus 6. What'd you say?
I was going to say it took some shit. There was some favorable things that happened. I can't remember specifically what it was. What happened? I texted you, though, and I texted you.
There was a pick.
Yes, and he returned it inside like the 15.
Yeah, I don't even know if they scored.
No, I think they did, yeah.
Well, I just remember
they
Texas.
did because Murphy threw that fucking a dart of a slant that the dude like fucking, he caught it like, it was a great catch. It was fucking, who's the receiver not worthy? The other one.
Donnie Mitchell.
Mitchell, he caught it. Touchdown. That was big. I think that put you over the number.
Yeah, well, there was the whole time we were like sitting at, I forget what the score was, but we were either right outside the number or right inside the number. It was like BYU kept flirting with the back door. And Texas kept getting the ball into the red zone, but just couldn't. They turned the ball over on downs a couple times.
Was it 21-3?
It was 28 to
6.
It was 21-6. And then
Okay.
21-6, you get the interception, and then Keaton Slovis pass intercepted, return for 45 yards to the 8-yard line. One play, Malik Murphy to Donnie Mitchell for 13 yards and a touchdown because they got a false start on first down and backed him up. So, yeah, you got the pick. It was 21-6 with still plenty of time in the fourth quarter, 13 minutes, but returned it all the way inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah, I think there was 2 instances, though, where they went for it in the red zone, definitely inside the 15-yard line, and they failed.
Yeah,
because I was just wanting them to kick the field goal with a go
to get on the number.
Yeah.
Immediately after the touchdown, they drove all the way down the field, but went for it on 4th and 11 on Texas's 20-yard line and turned it over. But then Texas went 3 and out, and then you had a strip sack. Keaton Slovis fumbled, and then they scored, but that put it out of the.
We had Oregon minus 6.5. We talked about it. Oregon was able to run the ball, do whatever they want against Utah, and Utah struggled to move the ball offensively. Marshall minus 3.5 was my lock. They really put up a fight in this one.
I was gonna say we gotta talk. We gotta talk about Marshall because I'm keeping an eye on it. I didn't really watch it, but
they couldn't have played worse.
What is going on with Fancher? Because he was not that bad. They couldn't have played worse.
He looked much better last week against James Madison, to be honest, other than him getting sacked a bunch. But this game, he played horrible. They had receivers slipping. There was one instance where the ball was thrown not perfectly, but the receiver, like instead of going get the ball, kind of like dove for the ball, barely gets his hands under it, tips it up to a defender for an interception. Like the game couldn't have gone worse for Marshall here.
Yeah. So you go 2-2.
And then I had South Alabama.
Oh, I think so.
South Alabama outgained UL by 150 yards in this game.
Yeah.
But turned the ball over 5 times.
I feel like that's happened a good bit this year.
Yeah. I'm the king of betting on a team if they're going to turn the ball over 5 times.
Yeah. So 2-2 on the week brings you to 22, 26, and 2. 5-5 in your locks of the week. So we are now both locked up. Even on our locks of the week. Joseph, you were leading the way going into this week.
I could have been right there with y'all at 5-5. But the back door's always open. It is. It's the oldest saying in sports betting history.
It was open on Thursday, too.
Yeah, back door's always open, man. It killed me this week. Yeah, down week for me in college. I went 1-3. We kind of talked about it. Virginia, Miami. I took Miami, laying the 18. Bad pick. I even said it in my breakdown last week. But Virginia always seems to keep games close, and that's what they did. I believe I stopped watching, but I think I saw they won in overtime, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think so.
Miami.
Wasn't that was the week after Miami had just beat Clemson in overtime, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And Van Dyke came back. Yeah, so bad one there. But then, like y'all said, we were on our first consensus pick, Oregon -6.5. They look great. And these last two were tough. UCLA and Colorado. UCLA is more worried about stealing jewelry from these players than going to cover the spread. Bunch of fucking morons.
I think
Steele is an idiot.
I think we talked about that one though. That was another one that I was saying the back door could definitely be open with that offense.
I don't expect Steele to go out there and fumble twice.
Yeah.
Don't see it. Not against Colorado's defense.
Yeah, but he doesn't expect South Alabama to fucking turn it over 5 times.
Total shit show.
Yeah, name of the game. But yeah, and then Purdue, Nebraska. Never again with Nebraska. I don't even know why I went back to them. We've both went through this year. Jeff Sims is an idiot. Matt Rule's an idiot.
Didn't Nebraska win?
Yeah, they won.
Oh, you took the under.
Yeah. My whole breakdown leaned Nebraska, and I took the under instead.
Why are you
should have just went with the Cornhuskers.
Why are you mad at Jeff?
Oh, he's an idiot. So is Matt Rule. Huh?
What?
What? So is Matt Rule. I don't know why he took out Hardberg or whatever.
Yeah, Henrik Harburg.
Whatever his name is.
It's Harburg.
He fumbled once, but still.
No, yeah, he brought Jeff Sims in. He immediately fumbled for like a fumble 6.
They had a 5 turnover game, so I'm right there with you, Nick.
Oh yeah. So what is your overall record?
So 1-3 that week brings me overall to 20-14.
Still very good.
And my locks, I would have been right there with y'all, but now I'm 4-6.
Still very good. We'll focus on the fact that I went 4-2 on the games I broke down and gave you on the podcast. The ones I added, not so much.
Don't focus on it.
But this is going to be a good week. We're on to week 10. Yeah, I mean, it's LSU Bama week. There's a lot of good games all across the board. We have games on currently as we speak, and we have midweek Maction for the first time this year. Are you on it? Anything? Wednesday? You hate the Mac.
No, I hate Maction.
I'm not currently on anything, but I want to be. I definitely want to be. This is that we've been having Conference USA on Wednesdays. The MAC owns Wednesday, and they are now officially back. The first main one, the 6:30, Kent State, Akron, both 1-7, both 0-4 in the MAC. The two dumpster teams of the MAC are facing off. I kind of want to lay it with Akron, but I don't know. I'm currently not. I was kind of hoping somebody else would be on it, and we could all kind of lean towards it, but I guess not. Does anybody have anything for Thursday?
I don't.
Do you? I'm looking at South Alabama and Troy. I'm not on it currently.
Who are you leaning?
Troy. I'm leaning Troy. I know Carter Bradley's banged up, but he's expected to go from what I saw. I'm also leaning the over, though. I'm more leaning the over, I feel. We're just in a day and age where good offense beats good defense. So I know they want to run the ball. We got a first-hand look in the New Orleans Bowl that South Alabama's defense is susceptible. But no, in reality, they're both very good offenses. They're both really good defenses as well.
Yeah, they're kind of like alike in a lot of ways.
Yeah, statistically, they match up very similarly. They offensively, South Alabama's 454 yards of offense, Troy's 441. Both are 275 plus in passing yards. Both are right at 165 rushing yards per game. Defensively, they're both giving up right around 300 yards, 191 to 95 passing yards allowed, 125 rushing yards allowed, basically. So they're all pretty close. Troy's a little bit better at stopping the run. But I don't know. It's only 45.5. It's a pretty low number.
Yeah. I mean, I understand why it's that low though.
Yeah.
Because they're not like super explosive types of offenses.
Yeah, but they have weapons though. They have good running backs that can fucking. I like Webb and Vital, whatever you call them. I don't know. I'm not on it, but like I said, that's another one that I would consider. Do either one of y'all have anything for Friday?
I'm not on Friday.
No.
I'm not either. So currently, no
Looking at one, though.
midweek college football. What are you looking at?
I was looking at Boston College.
Yeah, I just don't know with
Syracuse.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. I was looking at points in that one.
yeah, I don't know.
But
All
I
right,
don't know. I may add. We'll see.
all right. Well, then let's go to Saturday. What is your first play? How many total do you have?
4.
Okay, I have a lot. I think I have 10. What's your first one?
I'm going to go to Arkansas, Florida.
Okay.
Florida's 6-point favorites. The over-under is 49.5. Arkansas ranks 128th in the nation in yards per play. Its offense has looked like garbage against everyone other than LSU, when LSU was really struggling in the back end. It somehow managed, though, to keep some games close against LSU, Ole Miss, and Alabama. I'm not totally convinced that Florida's offense to do enough in this game to cover, but I'm willing to kind of bet on their defense here, who's just kind of okay. I'm going to take the Florida Arkansas under 49.5.
Okay. Under 49.5.
Y'all aren't on there?
No, I was looking at it, but I couldn't pull the trigger on a side.
What's the spread at?
6.
Yeah, Florida's favorite at home.
Yeah.
How many total do you have, Joseph?
4.
All right, you can go ahead with your first one.
Army at Air Force. I'm going to lay the 18.5. Ugh, mother sucker.
I'm not on it, but
Okay.
it's a
good.
Service
That makes me feel a
Academy
little better.
game.
I hate being against y'all. Yeah, Service Academy game. This game has hit, I was thinking about the under 2, 31.5. That's the lowest it's been in 7 years. It's hit 6 years straight. I was like, let me just ride the 7th here, but I'm just looking at it, and Army sucks. They're terrible. They've been shut out twice this year by LSU and Troy. I think they could be looking at a third time against a top 5 defense across the board in Air Force. And Air Force should be able to dominate both sides of this game.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to pretty much hope – you're going to have to hope that they don't find the end zone more than once because the total's only 31.5, but Air Force favored by 18.5. They're not expecting Army to score much of anything. So, but Navy was kind of – Navy's not a great school. And they're having a down year in terms of what they have been, I guess, just like Army. And, I mean, Navy's defense shut down Air Force. So, I mean, if they had even the remote – a semblance of competence at the quarterback position, Navy would have covered the game and could have been live in that game. They threw a pick 6 at the end.
Yeah.
So they would have been live.
No, yeah, their Army's team totals at 6.5. If I were to bet that, I would bet the under.
Well, yeah, as I'm saying, you would have to if you think Air Force is gonna cover this number.
Oh yeah.
It's just you just bet on them to fucking score. I almost want to take it just out of principle. They just got to find the end zone once.
Just one time.
One mistake from Navy.
Yeah.
I mean from Air Force. Yeah, I don't know.
They're at home though.
I don't mean shit.
Let's get the troops rolling.
Yeah, home and away doesn't mean a goddamn thing for those offenses. They could play on fucking Mars. They're just running it up the gut over and over again.
Yeah, Army sucks.
Let's talk about Oklahoma State. Bedlam. Last time in the history. Are you on it?
Yeah, I'm on the game.
Are you?
Yeah.
I'll let you lead the way then. Go ahead.
Oklahoma's 6-point favorites against Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State is coming off of 4 straight wins against quality opponents. Oklahoma just lost their first game of the year to Kansas. I'm impressed with Oklahoma State, and I still think Oklahoma's a little bit overrated, but I'm just not willing to bet Oklahoma State +6 here. I'm gonna go with the under because I still kind of believe in Oklahoma's defense here. Even though last week they gave up 38 points to Kansas, it's like they kind of looked okay though. Even though it took some kind of heroic plays for Kansas in that game to win, I think Oklahoma State's chances to win this game come from their defense matching Oklahoma. So there could be some wind here as well. So I'm gonna go under 61.5.
We got our first opposites. I'm on the over.
Okay.
First one of the year. I think Oklahoma State can hang in this game. I was impressed with the offense. You said that they were playing better. They dropped 45 on Cincinnati, but then did dominate them defensively as well. Oklahoma it's kind of like Penn State in a similar instance where I've seen some issues on the back end that weren't there in the beginning of the year. Oklahoma's given up 30 to Texas, 29 to UCF, and now 33 to Kansas in their last 3 games. Oklahoma State averages 430 yards of offense, but they give up 409 yards of offense. Oh, they give up 409 yards as a defense as well. I'm going to go over. I did see a little bit of wind. I didn't see a ton, though. How much did you say?
It's a pretty good win.
I didn't see 10 plus.
Yeah, 10 to 15 miles an hour up to 20-something mile an hour gusts.
I didn't see that. I hope that's not the case. But, yeah, I'm going to go over here. It's final bedlam in the history, so we'll see how it goes. But they did look good offensively. I mean, they dominated Cincinnati, I would know. And they can run the ball pretty well, too. Both teams are running it really well. We'll go. So, yeah, that's our first opposite. What do you have the number at?
61.5. I think they're 60.5.
Yeah,
available if you want to.
Yeah, we can middle it.
Well, you can go 60.5.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I see 60.5. That's what I got it at. So we're hoping for 61.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of Penn State, I'm going Penn State and Maryland. I'm going to go over 50.5. Exactly what I just said. I kind of alluded to it. There's been some problems on the back end of the secondary for Penn State. Indiana put way too many points on the board, way more than expected. So we'll see if they shore that up a little bit. Maryland, though, not very good defensively. And then Tagovailoa, let's get a little points going here. But Aller's got to wake up. They have too many weapons. At least they have too good of a running game that should be making life easier for Drew Aller. It was a bad weather game last week, so we're going to go over 50.5 here for Penn State and Maryland. What is your next one, Joseph?
Kansas at Iowa State. I'm going to take the Cyclones -2.5. I think Kansas is in a bit of a letdown spot here, riding a high after that Oklahoma game, that Oklahoma win you mentioned last week. With the way that they've scored the ball, the Jayhawks this year, I would have expected them to be favored in this one, even on the road. So I'm going to put some stock in that 25th ranked Iowa State defense, giving up only 19 points per game this year, which most of those points came in that Oklahoma Sooners loss they had where they gave up 50 to them, and they scored 20 in that one. Kansas defensively is giving up 28 points per game, which is down there, ranking 85th in the country. They have some injuries up front on the defensive line. We'll see if they're able to go, but they did not practice yesterday. So I'm going to take the points -2.5 at home.
Okay. All right, for my next one, I am going to Virginia Tech and Louisville. Obviously, we were just on Virginia Tech last week with the first half bet. They dominated. And I'm going to go back to the well. I'm going to take Virginia Tech +10 against a Louisville team that has exceeded expectations in Jeff Brom's first year, at least in my opinion. Virginia Tech's playing their best football at the right time. Drones has settled into the starting role now. It's a little shaky in the beginning. He's not lighting it up, but he is taking care of the football. They are. It's not for lack of trying. They're taking deep shots down the field. They've just been missing on them just barely. Let's try to hit a couple of those this week. I just think 10 points is too many here. Virginia Tech's defensive line looked dominant against Schrader and Syracuse. They sacked him 8 times. Get to Plummer. You can rattle him if you get to him early. He's very up and down, hot and cold. If you get to him early, you rattle him a little bit, he's going to make some mistakes. So Louisville's kind of riding a Cinderella story here right now. Not saying they're going to lose outright, but 10 points is too many, so I'm taking Virginia Tech +10. How many more do you have? One and then your lock?
Yeah.
All right, do you one?
Washington -3.5 at USC. The over-under is 1,000,000 points. 76.
Yep.
Washington hasn't looked better than Oregon since it beat Oregon, honestly. USC hasn't looked good either, especially its defense, which ranks 80th in the nation in yards per play allowed, and it's given up 40-plus points in 4 of its last 5 games. But I'm really not a big believer in Washington here. They've been outgained in 3 straight games against Oregon, Arizona State, and Stanford. For some reason, I think USC puts up a fight here, maybe gets an upset. I'm taking USC plus 3.5.
I am as well. And we were 3-0 on our consensus picks last week. This is kind of out of principle here. I'm taking USC plus 3.5. Their defense might be the worst of all time. Washington's following right behind, holding their hand. Caleb Williams, there's been a lot of talk about, is he as good as advertised? Michael Penix Jr. was leading the way in the Heisman race going in, and after that Oregon game, they've fallen back to earth. This is the opportunity for Caleb Williams to kind of silence the doubters and show that he's a step ahead of Michael Penix Jr., which I think he is. It's going to be a shootout, I'm sure. I think USC is going to be a little more capable. I think Washington kind of got exposed the last couple weeks, and 3.5. I'll take the points at home. So, give me the Trojans. Are you on this one, Joseph?
No.
All right. How many more do you have in the new lock?
One more in the my lock.
Okay, go with you one more.
LSU at Alabama will be here. I'm not going to be here not rooting for points. I'm going to take the over 60.5. LSU is ranking at the top of nearly every category offensively behind Jaden Daniels. They're best in the nation, converting 58% of third downs. That is an incredible number. I look for the Tigers to keep it going, even in this hostile environment, which we know it's going to be tough. It is every year against a pretty good Alabama defense. For LSU, defensively, obviously, has been a different story this year. They've been very underwhelming. Wingo's out for the rest of the season. It doesn't help, but I think the offense can make up for it. Alabama, on the other side, offensively, has been pretty underwhelming as well this year. Last week, not last week. Yeah. Wait. Am I tripping?
They were on a bye.
No, they're on a bye. Sorry. The week before, their bye against Tennessee, I think that was their best offensive performance, 34-20 win. McClellan was running the ball well. He's been running well this year. So if he can get that going, it'll help Milroe move the ball downfield, which I think they will need to do to keep up with the Tigers in this game. So I'm going to go ahead and take over 60.5.
Are you on this?
Not yet.
But you will be.
Probably. So basically, my thoughts is that the line is now 3.
There's 3.5 still today.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna wait and see what it does. I doubt it goes under 3.
I would imagine it goes back the other way.
Because I imagine money will come in on Alabama, but we'll see what happens.
We talked about this when it was 5.5. And I wanted to fucking take it at 5.5, but for some reason, clearly I was wrong. I thought that people would back Bama, and we could see this getting out to a touchdown, which obviously was very ambitious of me. And I would have bet a lot if it would have hit a touchdown. I was talking with somebody that listens to the show that I work with, and I said I'm waiting. I don't know why. I thought that people would back Bama.
Yeah,
Bama's fucking. What are they? They're back ranked in the top 10. Lean on the defense. It's in Alabama. I thought money would come in on them. So I was clearly wrong. We could have got a much better number. But I'm going to take them at 3.5. I'm taking LSU. Brian Kelly doesn't come here for any other reason other than to show that he can beat Nick Saban in Alabama. Are we winning a national championship this year? Probably not, but you can't win it if you don't win this game. Brian Kelly marched in at home, but fucking laid it on the line, beat Nick Saban year 1. We're coming back again because Jaden Daniels might be the best player in college football. We talked about him, 17, 18-1 odds to win the Heisman Trophy before the season started. If you march into Tuscaloosa and you drop a 40-piece on Alabama, he's going to be the front runner. It's going to be his to lose.
Yeah.
At least from that point going forward. I'm going to be honest, though. Side, where would you lean on the side? I personally would lean under. I think the defense has got to – the defense is going to have to play – if we're going to win or cover, defense is going to have to step up. And you've got Chestnut out on the back end. You've got Denver Harris out on the back end. You've got Wingo, obviously, undergoing surgery. Which way would you lean?
Yeah, it's tough because you have Alabama who's had 2 weeks to prepare, so you wonder – if they can cook something up to slow down LSU's offense, which, like Joseph said, is ranked number 1 in almost every statistical category.
I think Bama's what, top 20? They're like 15, I think, defensively.
Yeah, they're number 10 in yards per play allowed, so their defense is still really good. Their offense is getting better, it seems. But LSU yards per play allowed 106 in the nation.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell if we're getting better because we hadn't played anybody.
Yeah, you played Army and then
Auburn.
I just feel like, I mean, for us to cover, the defense is going to have to show up. It's going to have to. I don't trust that this isn't going to be an Ole Miss type game. You're not going to be able to drop 50 on Alabama. I don't think. You think?
No.
So I think the defense is going to have to make plays. Brian Kelly better sit fucking Harold Perkins on the edge of the line. Or if you want to spy him like you did Travis, that's great because Milrow's more likely to run than Travis was. But you better fucking send him. You better let him do what he's best at, especially with Wingo being out and the interior pass rush is going to take a hit a little bit. Jefferson's obviously going to have to kind of throw his weight around. They need to let Harold Perkins pin his ears back and wreck this game. So at least try. Don't just sit him there at fucking middle linebacker and let him play zone all night. What do you think from that standpoint?
Yeah, I agree. You have to get out. The biggest thing here for LSU's defense, though, to me, is like you can't have any breakdowns because Milrow is exceptional throwing the ball downfield.
Yeah, he can throw a pretty fucking deep ball.
Yeah,
we saw it
so
against Texas.
If you
we saw it
got
multiple
one-on-one or a guy who gets beat or a blown coverage, he's not going to miss him.
This just screams to me for some reason like one of those games where you're thinking like, oh, it might end up being a track meet. LSU's offense is so good and their defense is so bad. I could see this being like a grinded out fucking, it's a tougher game than you think. Like kind of similar to like Florida State, how we got down there and we're going for it on fourth down, you're getting stuffed. I could see that happening a couple times, like because points are going to be at a premium in this one. So where you don't want to settle for field goals and pay the price for that. But Bama's defense is good.
Mm-hmm.
So we saw them in the second half against Tennessee fucking get off and mess Joe Milton up. So I don't know. I'm taking LSU plus 3.5 though. And then if we get a better number, I'll bet it again. So I didn't bet as much as I would like to. But at the end of the day, I mean, Jaden Daniels is that fucking good. And, and Diggs is running the ball well. Obviously, Neighbors is making an argument. He's probably the second best wide receiver in the country. Top 5 for sure.
Brian Thomas.
Yeah, we have weapons all across the board, definitely.
What are the Heisman standings right now?
I didn't look this week.
I mean, I know.
I looked a week ago. McCarthy was the favorite, plus 250. Then Daniels and Penix were tied for plus 300.
Bo Nix is probably shortly behind as well.
Yeah.
And then Marvin Harrison Jr. is probably floating around out
there.
Travis
was still up there like 8-1.
Yeah. So, I would imagine it goes back the other way and you get a better number though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So 5.5 would have been fucking nice. I thought it was going to go the other way. I don't know why. All right. I've got a lot more and then until my lock. Going to one of the last games of the night, Boise State versus Fresno State. We'll get right to it. I know these two teams very well. I know the Mountain West very well. Boise's 4-4 on the season. All 4 losses are on the road. As long as Fresno doesn't paint the field blue, I think we see them win here. Boise's secondary is horrific, and Fresno, if their 33rd ranked run defense can contain Boise's output on the ground, it's going to be a little easier if Ashton Jeanty doesn't play, which he is currently doubtful. If they can stop him in terms of getting it going on the ground, make life a little bit difficult through the air. Stylistically, I just think it's kind of a bad matchup. Fresno has been on the fortunate side of some bounces along the way this year. Mikey Keene was obviously making his return from injury. I think that there's some problems on the back end of Boise secondary. I'm going to take Fresno State -3, the 14th ranked passing offense against a really porous secondary. Give me the Bulldogs. It'll be a late night game. We're going to work for it, but Fresno State -3. Then I am going to take I'll see what you think about this one because you probably know these teams a little better than I do. Marshall and App State, I'm going under 55.5. This is more going to be betting on Marshall's solid enough defense, good on third down. App State has problems that they have to deal with. It's pretty much the battle of solid defense and an abysmal offense for Marshall and a solid offense and an abysmal defense for App State. So I'm going to bet on Marshall's defense and hope that we can have low scoring in this one, under 55.5. You have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't. I would lean Marshall, but I just can't go with them another week in a row. This would be the third week in a row that I would probably lose.
Utah State and San Diego State. San Diego State just lost 6-0 last week, which is remarkable to Nevada. I'm going to take Utah State. I like Legas. Don't even know how to pronounce his name, but I do like him. He's mobile. He can make plays. I just think I trust them more to put points on the board. -2. I'm going to take Utah State. San Diego State, my God, 6-0. How do you even go to practice the next couple days? And get motivated there. Your defense has got to be so mad at the offense.
How many wins do they have now?
San Diego State or Utah State?
San Diego State.
3 and 5, both of them. Oh. So yeah, I mean, if you want to, who's more likely?
I'm on the under 5.5 for them.
Are you?
Yeah.
Well, you need Utah State then.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like we're approaching that territory of who's going to make that push to become bowl eligible too. Utah State's more likely, in my opinion, to become bowl eligible. Obviously, you got to hit the 6-win mark. Well, we got 3 weeks left, 3 games left.
They play 12 games.
No, yeah, okay. Let's see. They've got. Well, yeah, I meant going forward after this one. So yeah, okay. 4 total. But so after San Diego State, Utah State will have 3 remaining games. All right, I have my next one. Like I said, I got a lot. I have a lot this week. Oregon State versus Colorado. The Chickens have obviously come home to roost for Colorado. Dion will tell you himself the problems in the trenches. Shedeur Sanders was sacked 7 times against UCLA. Colorado allowed 218 rushing yards on 4.8 yards per carry. In comes Oregon State, a horrific matchup for Colorado. Their 12th best defensive line in terms of sacks. They've got 26 on the season, and they're 28th ranked rushing offense. So Shedeur is going to be on his bike all day long, and they're going to run it right down their throat. I'm going to take Oregon State -13. When you have your head coach up there in the post-game press conferences saying, we're going to go get linemen next season, it's basically throwing in the towel on this season. Offensively, defensively, they cannot do anything in the trenches. They throw it so much that it's pretty easy to plan for it. They average less than 100 yards on the ground. So
what time is this game?
It's going to be a later one, I believe. 6 maybe. Let me see. It is. No, it's 9.
Yeah,
we're gonna be up late.
Later.
2 late games. Why? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I would take Oregon State.
I just think. I mean, obviously with Damian Martinez, they're not gonna have an answer for him. You can even throw in Ongalele's running ability as well. Short yardage situation should be no problem. They have weapons on the outside. I think that Oregon State's going to be able to control the clock. They're going to get after Shedeur and make life pretty difficult. So, I mean, we've seen it time and time again. So you have to have a horrific defense like USC.
I'll take Oregon State.
Okay. All righty. Let's see. So I'm good there. I had a bunch of games that, like I said, I was about to fucking send some shots this week. I was looking at Michigan and Purdue just out of principle, all the shit that's been going on with Michigan. I almost wanted to lay it, but it's so many points, I can't do it. And they do have Penn State the following week.
Yeah.
So I think it was like 31, 32 points. Purdue can't stop the run. Michigan's going to shove it down their fucking throat. And just with all the noise that you've been hearing, I could totally see Harbaugh just dropping a 70 piece on them just to say shut the fuck up. But I stayed away. I want to do it, though. If anybody says they'll do it, I'll do it. Missouri and Georgia was one I was looking at. Do you have thoughts there?
I looked at it for a moment. It's what, 16 points now? Or is it more?
Let me see.
15.5 last.
What time's it kick?
It should be a 2:30 game, huh?
Anytime I need to find the game, can't do it ever. What time do they play? Jesus Christ. Okay, there we go. I see 15.5, so around 16, 2:30 p.m.
Yeah, this will be an interesting game to gauge
where Georgia's at.
Yeah, especially in terms of their defense.
I would lean Missouri with the points.
I would too. They play Tennessee next week, right? Georgia?
Yeah, but Tennessee's not really – they're not as good as expected. So I wouldn't really fall into like – it's not a look-ahead spot because Missouri's probably ranked higher than Tennessee. What is Tennessee ranked?
Yeah,
I don't know.
They're ranked 19.
Missouri's –
I know Missouri has one loss.
Yeah, Missouri's ranked 12. So
no, I like Missouri. I've liked them all year.
Which way would you lean, you think?
I kind of would want to take Georgia, but like I said, I would want to see.
It is definitely one of those spots where, like, with Brock Bowers being out, they answered the bell with Bowers being out last week.
Mm-hmm.
But I think people are going to start the public will be on Missouri, I'm sure. Because it is a lot of points. It's over 2 touchdowns, and you're like, okay, you see the number next to Missouri. I do, like you said, it's going to answer some questions. I would lean Missouri with the points. It's just hard for me to lay the number with Georgia, so I'm not going to do it. But they could come out and just beat the shit out of them and kind of silence the doubters a little bit. I was looking at Navy and Temple as well. I couldn't get a consistent word on if E.J. Warner was going to play. So I'm going to stay away from that one as well. He's probably trending towards playing. And then UTSA North Texas. I was looking at that one for a minute too. Dude, Rogers for North Texas is having like an incredible year. He's been there for a while. I remember because I always remember them in the bowl games or in their conference championship. They always play, and there's no defense. He's got 19 touchdowns, 1 interception. He's playing fucking great. I remember him from the last few years. He was like not good.
Yeah.
And he's figured it out clearly.
Well, that was Bean too. Bean came from North Texas. Kansas is backup who's been playing decent.
Yeah, he's been at Kansas for a little while though.
Yeah, two or 3 years.
Yeah, because he upset Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I can find a 27-point favorite to lose outright.
But I remember I bet App State in the bowl game against North Texas, and they must have run for 500 yards against North Texas.
Yeah. So I was looking at that one. It's 7.5 in favor of UTSA. Why is UTSA laying that many? Frank Harris has not played that great.
Didn't North Texas just play pretty well against Tulane?
Tulane and Memphis. They played on
last week.
Memphis.
Okay, I was thinking of Tulane.
They lost 45-42 against Memphis, and Memphis was kind of pulling away in that one. North Texas kind of closed the gap a little bit there late.
But it was a 1-score game with Tulane as well, right?
Yeah, it was a touchdown. So that was another one I was looking at. I kind of wanted to take the points with North Texas, but I think I haven't gotten my eyes on UTSA enough this year to feel confident about it. At first glance, I don't know. I mean, the over-under 71.5. So it's one of those games where they play no defense. But I don't know that they should be laying over a touchdown. That's pretty much all I have before my lock, I believe. Yeah. All I have left is my lock of the week. So, I've hit 2 in a row, and we've been going with you first. But you lost last week, so do you want to keep it how we've been doing it, or you want me to go first?
I don't care.
I'll go first. Fuck it. All right. All we have left is our best bets of the week, our locks.
It's a lock, Kramer. You've had this thing under control for almost 3 years now. But it's a lock.
They need that fucking juice. They need that next bet. They need. Come on. Yes! When they win, they go fucking crazy.
You're a bad motherfucker. Go in that shower, grab your fucking nuts, and tell the world somebody's sniffing my fucking nutsack today. Because I ain't got time to fuck around no more.
All right, for my lock of the week, I am going to Notre Dame and Clemson. Preseason, it looked like this was going to be one of the bigger matchups of the year. It's not. Notre Dame has 2 losses. Clemson's 4-4. Dabo Swinney's getting steamrolled on the radio by the fans. The demise of Clemson is upon us, but this week is going to be different. Give me the Clemson Tigers plus 3.5. Dabo, don't do it for you. Don't do it for me. Do it for Jesus Christ. Clemson plus 3.5. Sam Hartman's not good. Notre Dame's good from top to bottom outside of the quarterback position. That's going to be the problem here. This was a very similar spot that we saw Clemson in with Florida State. Early kick. That was a 1-possession game. If that game goes differently, If Miami goes a little differently, we're having a different conversation in terms of Clemson this year. I don't think Clemson's good, but I do think that the defense, even Shipley's questionable. Even without Shipley, it's now or never for Klubnik. They can keep this game close. They can win this game outright. They held Florida State to 22 rushing yards, only 311 total yards, 4 of 13 on third down. I'm going to take Clemson plus 3.5 on the home field, 11 a.m. This is eerily reminiscent to Florida State, which was an overtime loss. So a one play away. I think they missed a kick. So give me Clemson plus 3.5 as my lock of the week.
Yeah, I'm on Clemson.
That's your lock?
Yep.
Oh, let's go.
Notre Dame, yeah, we say they're good. They're top 15 in yards per play and yards per play allowed. Clemson's defense is the strength of their team, number 12 in yards per play allowed. Its offense ranks 93rd in yards per play, mostly because of Cade Klubnik's struggles. 3 of 4 Clemson's losses came on the road. Its only loss at home was against Florida State. Like we said, in overtime, a game Florida State was kind of lucky to win. And like you said, I think the biggest story here is Hartman going against Clemson's pass defense, which ranks 15th in the nation. I think we kind of see Hartman struggle here. Maybe Clemson muddies this game up, gets the running game going. I'm gonna take Clemson in the points.
Yeah, look, like I just said, Notre Dame dropped over 50 points. Sam Hartman did not throw a touchdown, and it wasn't for lack of opportunities. He threw 2 interceptions in the red zone or just outside of it. His best throw of the game was a ball that went through the DB's hands. That deep ball down the right hash mark went through the DB's hands. It was an incredible catch by the wide receiver. It could have been intercepted. So probably should have been intercepted. They had a punt return for a touchdown. They had a pick six, and then they had a scoop and score. So Pitt stinks. Clemson's not going to make those same mistakes. Look for Clemson to possibly win this game outright, probably win this game outright. Sam Hartman's just not good enough. That's what it boils down to. He makes too many mistakes. He's too loose with the football. We've seen it time and time again this year. We saw it against NC State. They got bailed out by a weather delay. We saw it against Louisville. We saw it against a lot of different teams this year. So Clemson plus 3.5, the lock of the week. Consensus lock. Joseph, what is your lock of the week?
Georgia Tech at Virginia. I'm going to go over in this one, over 56.5. Virginia is 81st in the country at getting off the field on third down at 40%. Georgia Tech is even worse, ranking at the bottom at 119th at 47%. Georgia Tech's offense, on the other hand, is converting third downs at a 47% rate, which is ranking 20th in the country. So I think they'll be able to move the ball downfield and put up points in this one against a Virginia defense who overall has not been very good this year, but they played much better last week against Miami. And I'm going to go back to what I said last week. I mentioned how Virginia always seems to keep the games close. I think in order to do that this week against Georgia Tech, who we saw put up 46 against UNC last week, that they will have to score a good bit of points in this one as well. So I'm going to go ahead and take the over 56.5.
All righty. There you go. That is our best bets of the week. We'll recap them real quick, and then we'll transition to the NFL. So I have trying to go in some semblance of an order here, but whatever. Fuck it. We'll go just all over the place. Give me Fresno State -3, one of the last games of the night. LSU plus 3.5. Be on the lookout for this number to grow, and we can get a possible better number, 4+. Marshall App State under 55.5. Utah State -2 against San Diego State. Oklahoma State over 60.5, the final bedlam ever. Penn State, Maryland over 50.5. Oregon State -13. Virginia Tech +10. USC plus 3.5. And my lock of the week, like I said, Dabo, don't do it for me, don't do it for you, but do it for God. Clemson plus 3.5 is the lock of the week.
I'm going Clemson plus 3.5. For the lock of the week, I'm taking the Arkansas, Florida under 49.5. I'm on the Oklahoma State under 61.5. Taking USC plus 3.5, and we're taking Oregon State -13.
Army at Air Force. I'm going to take Air Force, laying the 18.5. I'm taking Iowa State -2.5 against Kansas. I'm taking the over 60.5, LSU and Alabama. And for my lock of the week, I'm taking the over 56.5 in the Georgia Tech and Virginia game.
There you go. That is our best bets of the week for college football. I feel good. I felt good multiple times this week, and it hasn't gone. I mean, this year, and it hadn't gone well. So it's got to go well eventually when I feel good. And I truly do. There were a lot of games that very quickly after diving into, I was like, I'm doing it. This is going to be my biggest week of the year in terms of plays. Although I say that, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 last week. So, but that was with 3 ads. And if Brian Kelly marches into Tuscaloosa and comes away with another win against Alabama, back-to-back in his first 2 years as the head coach, look, national championships are the goal, but beating the shit out of Alabama, that's right below. So we will see what happens there. We'll turn our attention to the NFL, where we struggled in the NFL. I mean, in college football, we dominated the NFL. I go 4-2. Nick went 2-1. Joseph went 3-1. So do the math there. That's good all around. Thursday night, though, the Buccaneers plus 8.5. We talked about the back door, and the back door was wide open. It was always the Bucs. It was clear. It was crystal clear what was going to happen. We let Joseph lead the way on his Thursday pick. We were both obviously leaning the other way. You pulled the trigger on it first, and then I followed suit. Bucs were outside of the number on the final drive. It took a defensive holding on a 4th down to keep the drive alive, followed behind a face mask, a very late face mask. He was nearly flat on the ground. Shouldn't have grabbed it, though. We're not playing prison rules. Yeah. Kept the drive alive, and then the old throw a prayer to Mike Evans, let it just skip off the helmet right into his hands. But Joseph doesn't want to talk about the fact that the Buccaneers got the ball back and should have won this game.
Dude, shut it.
Hail Mary, Chris Godwin's right there. If he turns his head,
oh yeah,
should have won the game. So not only do they cover the 8.5, if you had a money line ticket, you just missed it. Packers and a pick'em was a horrible bet. Horrible bet. Packers stink. Falcons -2. They had their opportunities. Ritter sucks. They went to Heineke, and it kind of opened up a little bit more for them. I think they lost by 5. So if we can get in the end zone there in the end, but we couldn't. Broncos +8. Easy money. It had to be. After that Thursday night game, they should have had it in that one. Took a heroic effort for Butker. Broncos went outright by double digits. So I've been saying all year, the Kansas City Chiefs have problems on the offensive side. You didn't believe me because you've got Mahomes and Kelsey on your fantasy team, and they're doing great. But in terms of winning football games, they have problems.
Yeah.
Who outside of Kelsey, who's their best threat?
Isaiah Pacheco.
Who is their running back?
Is that what you mean?
Who's their best threat? Yeah. I mean, not necessarily their run. If that's your second best threat out of your tight end, then you have a problem.
Yeah. It's their running back.
That equates to you have a problem offensively. What are your thoughts?
I don't see too many problems.
You're crazy.
Sometimes you have a bad game.
They even tried to go back and get McCoy.
The week before, look at them.
What?
They fucking diced him up.
Who?
Oh,
I don't remember, man. It freaking had
Kelsey had like 12 for
the Chargers.
Yeah,
their defense is horrible.
The Broncos is too.
Not really. Not against the Chiefs. Look at what they did earlier. They only scored 19 on them.
You're talking about earlier in the season when they gave up 70 to Miami?
No, I'm talking about when they played the Broncos and only scored 19.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't care what the Broncos did against Miami when we're talking about what the Chargers did. What the Chiefs did against them. But they only scored 23 against the Jets, 17 against the Jags, 20 points against the Lions. So when you add it, yeah, they dropped 41 on the Bears when they were getting shell-shocked, and then 31 on the Chargers, which is not a good defense. But any real formidable defense that they've played so far this year, they're not doing great. They're on an average of around 20 points. I don't know how you don't think that there's a problem. You just
no, I don't.
Don't be clouded by your fantasy team.
You'll see.
So you think they're going to light it up against the Dolphins? You think?
Yeah.
Okay. I had the Jags -2.5. It was a weather game, which we knew going into it. They were able to pull away there late. Cowboys -6.5 was my lock of the week. This was over right off the bat. We were going into halftime. It was 33-3. So I felt like it was a good bounce back spot for the Cowboys, and that it was. Stafford ended up getting hurt late in the game, but it didn't matter. They packed it in pretty early. So I go 4-2 on the week, brings me to 18-22, 3-5 in my locks of the week. We had a couple rough weeks there. We went 5-1, and then we went on a tough stretch. So a good bounce back week, and we're going to try to carry that into week 9. You had your usual 3 plays. You went 2-1.
Yeah, I had the Buccaneers. We talked about it. The Pittsburgh, the under here. Jacksonville, they do that thing where they turn the ball over whenever.
Yeah, the red zone turnovers. That's what they should have dominated.
And then it was a field goal fest. Other than that, and then Pickett gets injured. Trubisky, not going to get it done. Not going to get the points on the board.
I don't know. I mean, Pickett's
much better.
Trubisky's basically Pickett.
Oh my God! Come on.
You've been okay.
Trubisky never make the Pro Bowl.
You've been an anti-Pickett guy all year.
I know. I thought you didn't.
And
like
then
Pickett.
now you're like he's the fucking greatest, and Trubisky can't do what he can do.
Jesus, did you
can't
not
hold
see
his jock
Trubisky?
strap.
Dude,
Fucking Trubisky loves to roll left.
Trubisky.
well, yeah, no, there's a reason he's not starting, but
Yeah, and he's not starting in front of a guy Pickett who shouldn't be starting.
yeah, I don't know. I know Matt Corral and Anthony Richardson will never see the field again. All right, so then let's talk about them. We'll go to Thursday. Steelers taking on the Titans.
Okay.
Do you want to lead it? Do you want to lead it? You've been on a roll on Thursday.
We'll let Joseph be the second.
Oh wait, you didn't even go ahead and recap your last week actually.
Oh yeah. Sure.
Real quick.
Yeah. All right. Bills minus 8.5. Bullshit. We know that. Should have covered. Everybody knows it. What's up?
No, yeah, they definitely shouldn't have covered. Plus 8.5 on a Thursday. Short week. Come on. Good defense in the Bucks.
Come on. Bullshit.
Josh
Off the
Allen
helmet.
turns it over.
Off the helmet.
It's a good catch by Mike Evans.
Eagles minus 6.5. That was a sweat, but they got it. They got to go in the second half. Falcons Titans. I was on Titans plus 2.5 at home. Levis is a future MVP. Jags Steelers under. Weather game.
Yep. What is your overall record?
That brings me 3-1 brings me to 13-20, 3-5 in my locks.
Okay. So yeah, clearly we all still need to pick it up. But a good week nonetheless, all around. So we're going to try to do that again. Thursday night, Titans taking on the Steelers. They struggle to find good Thursday night games. It's really tough. Steelers are 3-point favorites at home. The total sits at 36.5. As far as I could tell, I didn't see much weather in the forecast. We're looking at a relatively chilly one, though. We are getting into football weather season. Who feels good about a side?
Just give me the Titans plus 3. Pittsburgh's run defense isn't any good. You said it's getting cold. I told you what happens when it gets cold with Henry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kenny Pickett obviously hurt his ribs. It's questionable to play. If I had to guess, I would lean towards, I don't know. He's definitely doesn't lack toughness, but it is a short week, short turnaround. Clearly, he didn't feel good enough to come back in. They rolled with Trubisky, so I'm going to go Titans as well. But I don't like it. But it is.
Yeah, it's like Levis is going to have that game.
Where he
4
gets
touchdowns last week. There's no way.
No,
4
yeah, I'm
picks this
worried.
week.
Yeah, no, that truly is what I'm worried about. I'm worried about this being like a Browns game
Just
where
run it every play.
I'm worried about this being a Browns game where the Steelers defense gets a whatever, scoop and score, something at the end. The fact that they're favored, I mean, that just goes to tell you clearly and then Mike Tomlin, I don't know. Mike Tomlin's a great coach. He's done the most with nothing.
Yeah.
In the history of the league. Yeah, I don't fucking know. I don't know. Total's 36.5.
I think Henry runs it for 200 here.
God, I hope so. For my fantasy team. Yeah, I'll take the Titans plus 3. Joseph, which side are you on?
I'm on the under, 36.5.
Just so Will Levis is future MVP.
Yeah, not this week. Nick talked about it. 4 picks.
Titans might score 36 themselves.
36-0. That'd be
yeah.
something.
Oh, dude.
All right, so you're on the under. Me and Nick are taking the Titans.
Yep.
Getting 3 on the road. Nothing travels better than a run game, though. And obviously points will be tough to come by in this one. Godspeed, Will Levis. Pull us out the fire. Sunday, 8:30 a.m. Dolphins and Chiefs. Let's talk about it. Are you on it?
Yeah.
You got to be.
It's in Frankfurt.
Yep. Is this the first Germany game?
Yeah. All the other ones have been in United Kingdom.
Okay. Which side are you leaning?
Chiefs. Chiefs -2.5. I just think the Chiefs defense is still pretty good, you know.
Definitely.
Even though their offense is struggling, the struggles in offense aren't gonna stay. I just don't see it.
I don't know how. I
Because
truly don't.
Mahomes is the GOAT.
He is, without question. I'm not debating that. I've bet on Mahomes.
And his hand got hurt. His left hand got hurt.
I think every Super Bowl that he's played in, I've bet on Mahomes. So, but, dude, that you can't deny that they do have problems on offense, though. They do.
Some games.
The majority of the games this year. Kelsey's
They've put it together some games.
We just went over it. They scored. We watched them, especially. The problem is, if you're fading the Chiefs, the problem is, other than the refs being in their pocket, they're so efficient in the red zone. So, but with the Jaguars play great. We were on that game. That was, I think, both of our locks. They played great, but the problem was they executed in the red zone where the Jaguars didn't. But they were able to keep them out of the red zone for the large portion of that game. We've seen issues in terms of punt returns. They put McCole Hardman back there, who they just recently signed. He muffed one. I'm on the under 51 because the Chiefs certainly do have a fucking good defense. And if they win the Super Bowl this year, it's going to be in large part because of their defense. Their defense made a critical play in last year's Super Bowl with Bolton with the scoop and score touchdown. Obviously, they didn't force that turnover. But I don't know. The Dolphins' defense is not good. Don't get me wrong. So if there was an opportunity for them to wake up, but they got to go to Germany, I'm on the under 51 and a half.
These are international superstars. Kelsey and Mahomes. 50% of the fans here are either going to have Kelsey or Mahomes jerseys on.
The majority will have a Patrick Mahomes jersey without question. But I don't know how you can say that you don't think that they have.
I would lean under, though.
Okay.
I think there's supposed to be some wind in Germany.
I don't even know. Yeah, it's an outdoor stadium then?
Yeah.
You looked into the German weather forecast?
Yeah, I think I got the right Frankfurt.
I don't know. I've been saying it all year, and you haven't agreed, but they have problems offensively. If Travis Kelce, watch when Kelce gets hurt. Kelce gets hurt, it goes to shit. So you better pray for not only your fantasy team, but also your bet. You better pray for the health of Travis Kelce. So, but has Denver just laid out the blueprint on how to stop the Chiefs then?
No. I mean, Denver was able to run the ball a lot against them.
Yeah, that's what we talked about. That's what
not
you said.
With so much success, but enough. Yeah. They were able to run it for over 30 times, I think, in the game.
But like in that Thursday night game when they played, 4 of 13 on third down, only 389 yards of total offense, which
is good.
Yeah, but for the Chiefs though, like against the Broncos,
if you're getting 400 yards, then that's like there's no question if that's good.
But against that was against the Broncos, who had just given up like 70 points. So to only go 4 of 13, they dominated time of possession. So what's the problem? They only scored 19 points.
Yeah.
They only scored 1 touchdown in the game. They got problems on offense, I'm telling you.
They don't.
They didn't even score a touchdown last week.
This was the same narrative last year.
No, what?
Yeah, they started off extremely slow on offense last year.
Yeah, I guess.
And then they won the Super Bowl.
Because of their defense.
And Patty Mahomes and Travis Kelce.
I'm on the over.
Didn't I just tell you about the wind?
I'm on the over 50.
It's wind gust up to 30 miles an hour.
Good.
I'm on the over 50 and a half.
Give me your reasoning why.
Dolphins offense. I know the Chiefs defense is pretty good. Dolphins offense looks unstoppable.
I would disagree.
And then I like the Chiefs to bounce back this week. International game. They did not look good last week. But
somebody's clearly never taken an international flight and tried to play a sporting event.
Yeah, well, they both have to.
I almost flew to Frankfurt.
That's why I'm on the under.
Oh, yeah.
What do you mean?
I flew to Nuremberg instead, where they had the trials.
He said, well, they both have to. Yes.
They had the trials for the Nazis in Nuremberg.
I would make the argument that the Dolphins offense against good teams that struggled. They only scored 20 on the Bills, 17 on the Eagles. They scored 31 against New England, but there was turnovers there by Mac Jones that gave them favorable field position. But against good teams, I mean.
Yeah, two of the most popular teams. I think that won a shootout here.
Who?
Them.
They're going to want a shootout?
Yeah, the NFL.
I'm glad you feel that way.
Make everybody regret
This is
not waking up early.
soccer style score.
Yeah. Yeah, we're looking at like 9-3. Yeah, no, I mean, that works for me. All right, Falcons, Vikings, my first one on Sunday. Oh, second one on Sunday. I'm going to lay the 4.5. Actually, no, I got it at 4. Let me see. It looks like it's grown. Let me just double check just to be sure. But I want to take Atlanta. Fuck. I got it at 4, but that's why I said 4.5 because that's what I saw. I'll still take it at 4.5. I would rather 4, which is what I got it at. But yeah, you know what? Take it off. No, I'm taking it off. I'm taking it off. If I can't get a 4, I don't want it.
Who's the quarterback? Jaron Hall?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they just signed Josh Dobbs, but there ain't no way he steps in immediately and plays.
I think I read they're expecting him for support.
Yeah, he'll be there
Mental
if
support?
people get hurt.
No, I mean like he might take a couple snaps.
I don't know how.
I'd have to read it again. But for some
support?
reason, for some reason, that's how I interpret it.
That sounds like a little bit more than support. They're wanting Dobbs to win this fucking game.
Yeah, there's no way he even knows the fucking plays.
Yeah, support is him not even in uniform,
Handing
but
out
just
Gatorade.
has one of those earphone pieces in, and he's just out there,
Yeah.
guiding them.
Or like
them
if
along.
every other quarterback on the roster breaks his leg and they have to have somebody under center. And yeah, I don't know.
If anybody can learn the playbook that fast, it is Dobbs, though. He's a rocket scientist.
He is smart, yeah. Doesn't have eyebrows either. Could be alopecia, though, which if you ask Jada Pinkett Smith is a terminal illness. So she said Tupac, I feel like he battled alopecia his whole life. He never wanted to talk about it. It's like, yeah, it's called going bald, you fucking idiot. Not cancer.
Yeah, did Michael Jordan...
Yeah.
Fucking
Yeah.
Michael Jordan's the greatest.
Yeah, Emmitt Smith, he had alopecia.
Yeah. Who else?
There's a lot. Who else?
Joseph?
Jerry Rice.
Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, Jerry Rice. We went ball. He still was catching balls for the Seahawks.
All right, what's your first one for Sunday? Are you doing 3 again?
No, I always do 4 when it's when we have Europeans attending.
Oh, right.
I'm gonna take the Cowboys +3 against the Eagles in Philadelphia.
Okay.
I don't love it, but
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Cowboys. I'm taking the Cowboys.
I'm on
Dallas.
I'm on him as well. I thought that's what you'd said. I was doing something. Yeah, I got him getting a field goal.
Yeah.
That's what you got? Yeah. Yeah, no, I think similarly to the Chiefs, I think the Eagles have left a lot to be desired offensively in certain spots this year. They've shown flashes of what they're capable of, but the Cowboys just woke the fuck up. Now you got to go on the road. It is a divisional matchup. I think getting bitch slapped by the 49ers that was their wake-up call that they needed. They're trailing in the division currently. Eagles are 7-1, Cowboys are 5-2. Yeah, I'm going to take the Cowboys getting a field goal here. I think that's all I think. Give me the Cowboys. Are you on this one, Joseph?
No.
All right, what is your next one?
I only have my lock left.
All right. I am going to take, let me see where it's at. I'm going to go back to them. I'm going to take the Packers -3 at home. It is absolutely now or never for Green Bay. The Rams with Stafford, I'm assuming Stafford's not going to go, but maybe he does. Don't know. Packers have to figure it out right now at home. We're getting into that cold weather territory where Green Bay likes to play, but they only like to play there when they have a competent quarterback, which they don't have. But I'm going to lay the field goal with the Packers at home. It is now or never. Are you on this?
No.
All right, you have one more and then your lock?
Just my lock.
Okay. I have just my lock as well. I really wish I could have still given the fucking Falcons at 4.
Yeah.
I'll put if it goes back to 4, then I'll tweet it out again. Right now, I got it at 4. If it goes back to 4, I'll tweet it out again, and then it's gonna be on my card. All right, all we have left is our locks of the week for the NFL.
It's a lock, Kramer. You've had this thing under control for almost 3 years now, but it's a lock.
They need that fucking juice. They need that next bet. They need. Come on. Yes! When they win, they go fucking crazy.
I'm going to the Bills at Bengals. Bengals are 2.5-point favorites. The over-under is 48.5. Joe Burrow's healthy. The Bengals look great. Last week they beat the 49ers convincingly. The Bills almost lost the Buccaneers. I think the Bengals kind of turned their season around last week. I think they kind of go on a win streak here. I'm taking the Bengals minus 2.5.
The Bengals minus 2.5 are my lock of the week as well. And I'll give you a little...
Is this the first time ever?
It might be. Double locks. Double consensus locks in college football and the NFL. Little tidbit for everybody out there. I bet the Bengals 17-1 to win the Super Bowl. So I felt like that was good value. Yeah, the Bengals off to a very slow start. Burrow was battling the injury. The calf is okay now. He made an incredible play that reminded me of, was it the Georgia game? It was either Georgia or Oklahoma where they were fucking all over him. He fucking rips out of a sack, rolls out, and throws a dart to Higgins on 3rd and 11. It reminded me of, I think it was Georgia, where they rushed him, he rolled out, and he found Justin Jefferson down the sideline, and he like toe tapped it in. The Bengals are the lock of the week. At home, they need it more. They were behind the 8 ball after the slow start to the year. Minus 2.5.
Yeah, this is a rematch of the game.
Yeah, DeMar Hamlin.
I was on the Bills that game, and the Bengals were looking pretty damn good.
Was I on the Bengals? I think I just had the future bet on them. I had a future on the Bengals since Joe Burrow got.
It might have been a Thursday night game.
It was, or it was a prime. It was a prime time.
He was on the Bengals. I remember.
It was a primetime game for sure. I know I had the futures on the Bengals, so that was probably why. And it was a critical late season matchup. Yeah,
Who won that game?
It got canceled because
DeMar died on the field.
Oh yeah.
They revived him though.
Yeah, temporarily.
I don't know why I thought they kept playing. I forgot about that.
Are you like making a joke?
No, I forgot.
It was the first time anyone's ever seen that.
It's the first time anyone's died on the field.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That's crazy.
Well, the NFL wanted them to keep playing, but they were like,
yeah, it's a warm up.
Yeah,
yeah. They start
stay loose,
throwing passes and stretching.
Stay loose. He's all right.
Yeah, they're like, we can't. What?
They said there's a pulse. Stretch your fucking hamstrings. We got a game to play. All right, Joseph, what is your lock of the week?
I'm taking the Falcons minus 4.5.
Okay.
Kirk's out for the year, so in comes rookie Jaron Hall. I like the Falcons to get right back at home this week. I think Bijan will have a big game in this one, so I'm going to go ahead and take them minus 4.5.
Okay, there you go. That is our best bets for the NFL. So to recap, Thursday night, Titans +3, Dolphins and Chiefs under 51, Green Bay Packers -3, Rams are on a back-to-back, Stafford's banged up. Come on, Packers, please. Cowboys +3, and the Bengals, the Cincinnati Bengals, my lock of the week, -2.5.
Titans +3, Chiefs -2.5, Cowboys +3, and the Bengals -2.5 for my lock of the week.
Take the under 36.5 Thursday night. Dolphins Chiefs, I'm taking over 50.5, and from a lock of the week, Falcons -4.5.
There you go. That is our best bets in the NFL. Like I said, we don't talk about our picks prior to coming to the table at all. This could be the first time ever that Nick and I have a consensus. College football, Clemson being the lock, NFL, Bengals being the lock. They're both Tigers. They're both orange. This is fucking meant to be. So, there you go. This is going to be the good week. It's got to be. Been saying it, and eventually I'll be right. Do you have anything to say before we go?
Nope.
Joseph?
Good luck.
All right, episode 169 is in the books. For those of you still listening this deep into the episode, I appreciate you. I thank you. Hit subscribe everywhere. Tell a friend. I'm giving out NBA bets now. We're 2-1, and the only loss has been by 1 point. Y'all have a good one. Who dat?
The house always wins. Play long enough, you never change the stakes. The house takes you. Unless when that perfect hand comes along, you bet big, and then you take the house.
Been practicing this good.
A little bit. Did I rush it? Felt like I rushed.
No, it was good. I liked it.